absolutely beautiful morning to be talking about the weather in Madeira. We don't need this light anymore. But for those of you who don't know, the red light doesn't only look great on film, but actually what it does is it doesn't make you night blind, right? So when you're walking in the dark, if you notice, if you switch on a light, a bright light, you're gonna see everything. But then as soon as you switch that light off, your eyes have adjusted to all the lights and they cannot see anymore in the dark. And that doesn't happen when you use the red light. So I remember as a kid in school, when we used to do the hiking, the sunrise hikes in school, back in South Africa, we didn't have this kind of technology, and we actually used a wrapper from a candy, right? You know, the candies that they had those little red translucent wrappers, and we'd put that over the torch with an elastic, and that would be our red light, which is, I thought was so cool as a kid when our coaches showed us that. I was like, wow, this is awesome. Just started in Pico do Arieiro. It's not as cold as I expected, thankfully. The weather forecast today is set for 6 to 7 degrees. Up here, I expected it to be a bit colder, but it's actually not bad. There's no wind, and it is in fact middle of February, so technically still winter. But we are going to be talking about the weather in the springtime in this video. We're going to head out to the Stairway to Heaven, and I'm going to tell you why. We got a little guest over here. Can you zoom into him, Luis? Check him out there. There's a little guinea fowl or partridge, red partridge. People come up here to shoot them. Yeah, just joking, okay? I'm sorry to all the vegans watching. We're going to talk about the weather and practical things, you know, not like this is 18 degrees and whatever, you know. We're going to talk about practical things that you need to know when you come to Madeira. Let's yapping. Hey, Luis? Let's go. No, that's later. It's been a while since Luis has been with us. It's been a while, all right? So later we'll hit the road. There's the northeast side over there. We've got Faial and Porto da Cruz down there, Eagle's Nest. We can see Ponta de São Lourenço. It's looking pretty amazing today. In the springtime, you're not going to see the sun from this side, right? I mean, you might at like the end of spring, but this is summer sunrise, okay? So in the sunrise, when you're talking about the sunrise up in the mountains, in the winter time, it's on the south side, on that side, and on the summer time, it's on the north side. So if you look at Ponta de São Lourenço, the dragon's tail on the map, kind of you can south and north in Madeira, you know, it's going to be on that side. So the people up here, I don't know if they're going to see a sunrise from there. I doubt it. Where we're going, we're not going to see a sunrise either. But today's video is not to actually see the sunrise. If I was doing this with clients, I would have seen the sunrise at Pico do Arieiro, which is over there on that side. So we can actually see the sun coming up, and then I would do this hike, all right? But in the summer, I would do this hike first and then see the sunrise here on the way. It takes us another 15 minutes to get to the Stairway to Heaven, which is what we're also talking about in this video. So let's go check that out. So you can see already on this side, looks like the sun has just come up over there. So you can see some light over there. You can also see some light on that peak over there. If you want to actually see a good sunrise, always good to go with a guide, right? Because there's a couple of people who maybe expected, you could see that there were people kind of sitting there waiting, expecting to see the sunrise. And you know, they came all this way, they did all that work, and they're in the wrong place. And why should you listen to me? Well, because I've been a tour guide in Madeira for a few years, since 2010. I've been a tour guide longer than I've been a YouTuber, right? Okay, I like to joke around that I'm a YouTuber. I'm not a real YouTuber. Also, by the way, if you're a little bit worried about vertigo, all right, there's photos of this place on the internet that looks crazy. We made a video about this, about hiking with vertigo and all this kind of stuff. So you can see that on our channel, and don't do what these guys are doing. Like, look at them, like sitting on the edge, off the path. Like, that's just really, really silly. Please don't be stupid in Madeira. Be safe. Let's go. Let's do this. It's getting real nice. So this is the scary looking part of the hike kind of thing. If you can do the first 45 minutes, if you can get up to this point over here, right? Then you can do the rest of the hike, right? Because this is kind of like the scariest part. Online it looks crazy scary because it drops on both sides. But if you can pass this, then you'll be fine to do the rest. So usually when we do the tours, for instance, when we bring people up here to do this hike, our driver always waits an extra 45 minutes after we've started hiking, just in case someone wants to turn around, and then the guide will call and be like, hey, we got someone. And until this day, we haven't had anybody, right? So if you go with a guide as well, a guide is also good there to console you and to show you, you know, what to expect while you're here. So I'm trying to do the same thing in this video. I hope you guys are finding value in this. Oh, my foot. Okay, this is it, guys. Stairway to heaven. It's this little spot. When you see this in the photo, we say it looks like a stairway to heaven, and that's what is known as AKA the stairway to heaven. So some people have asked me, this is why I wanted to do this video for you guys, because we've had queries on our tours. People asking me, we want to do the stairway to heaven. How long does it take? You know, how many steps is it, kind of thing. And I think people get the wrong impression of what exactly is the stairway to heaven. People think it's this long path kind of thing. It's not. It's just this little section over here that is called the stairway to heaven. So that's what it is. And as I expected, there's no sun here. As you can see, we still haven't felt the sun on our skin, and the sun has been up for probably about 20 minutes now. Yep, for about 20 minutes. We've only got parking till 9 o'clock, eh? The parking. So it takes about 45 minutes to get here, all right? This is where the trail ends. So remember, the peak to peak hike, many of you may or may not know that the actual entire hike is closed. Please don't jump the fence, all right? As we mentioned earlier, it's really stupid. We hate it, the locals hate it when people disrespect the rules, disrespect nature, disrespect the island. Please don't be this person, right? It's not too cold, but remember that up here it is a good 15 degrees Celsius colder than Funchal, right? So in Funchal at the moment, it's probably about 20 degrees Celsius, and right now it's like 5, 6, maybe even 10, because it doesn't feel that cold, but the forecast was officially for 7. So if you want to know more about, you know, the temperatures and, you know, the climate and all of that kind of stuff, I have written a blog about it, and that is linked on the website below. But what you do need to know, if you are coming up here for a sunrise, that you should bring gloves, beanies, and layers, right? So I've got this jacket, and then below I've got another one, and then I got a t-shirt underneath that. You know, you don't want to come here in like short skirts and shorts and flip-flops, you know, good shoes, that kind of thing. This is the special stuff. I'm wondering if people pay like so much for parking. I wonder how much I could sell espressos for here. I've always said it, eh? A coffee truck up there, like a food truck, coffee truck, Pico do Arieiro, make a fortune in the summertime. Hey, how's that look? That's for you, Luis. You take a break, you take a break. So if you guys want to come out with me and do this whole, you know, get my bag of magic over here, right, with the cookies. We're gonna try some new cookies, Luis. These ones are apparently the best sellers at the cookie factory. Guilhermines. Hey, is that how you say it, Luis? Guilhermines. Guilhermines. Like this. They need to make better packets. Luis, try it, man. I think I'm gonna buy more of these if they don't sell out. Right, we've reached the top. We're back at Pico do Arieiro, back where we started. All the hiking paths now are being charged, right? So there's parking fees up here. There's fees for the hiking to keep the paths in good condition. And up there is the man who's charging the people. It's €3 each to do any hike in Madeira, any official hike. And if you want to know more about how to get your tickets and where, and basically anything hiking related, we did a video a couple of weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, the ultimate Madeira hiking guide. It's going to be up for only 3 months. And then it's going to go to our Patreon account where you can support this channel. So if you like what we do and want to give us some money, right? Want to pay us a poncho or buy us a coffee, then you can do that on Patreon and you're going to get all sorts of benefits. Probably look like I just came from an expedition, right? For sure. For sure. Okay, so this is the parking ticket. You can see here people paying. You can pay with a credit card, basically with a credit card really. Locals can pay with MBWay, which is a Portuguese way of paying. And you put this on your kind of dashboard and people know that you've paid. So up here, it's very expensive, or at least very expensive for us. €6.65 for, you know, basically 2 hours is a lot of money for parking in Madeira. And this is one of the tough things, really, if you are hiking. People think that, you know, by renting a car, it's actually better to hike, but it's not really. It's better to take transport because these parking spaces are limited. Right now, there's actually spaces here, which is quite amazing. But again, it's middle of February, actually beginning of February. So, you know, it is low season. This won't happen in the summer. And if you are coming here, you know, when it's a little bit busier and later in the day, then you're going to have to park in the parking downstairs and you're going to have to walk another 30 minutes up here. Or you could take the shuttle. So there's a shuttle bus that goes from the parking here. But as I mentioned in my hiking video, you're always going to pay, right? Or you're going to pay with money, or you're going to pay with time, or you're going to pay with your legs, or you're going to pay with time and your legs. So sometimes it's better just to pay with money because you're on vacation and, you know, time is scarce on vacation. Comment, let me know what you're thinking and ask me your questions. Don't ask me stupid questions, please. Okay, no stupid questions allowed. I'm just kidding.
All questions are
all questions. Yeah, there's no such thing as a stupid question, right? The stupid question is the question you don't ask. Okay. I hope these guys have insurance. There's like a whole lot of mud there. And it's gonna be nice to, if it rains and that gets muddy, that guy's in problems. You know, I was actually at a place the other day in a waterfall, in like a secret waterfall that is now on guidebooks and things. And there was somebody there with a rental car and slipping and sliding in the mud. And I was just thinking, how the hell, like not even me who drives for a living would want to drive a car or like a normal car down there, you know, in a 4x4, it's fine. But in one of those, we like to say, what starts cheap ends expensive, right? So don't try and like nickel and dime your vacation to only then catch surprises later and pay more anyway. So. One of my favorite places here, this is a place called Chão das Feiteiras, where this is where people camp and come and do picnics and things like that. And I just love this place. It's very close by. So I thought, why not show you guys in the video, maybe some drone stuff, but we want to get into it. So the weather in the springtime, Madeira has got a subtropical Mediterranean climate, which means it's fantastic, right? Usually, okay? So the locals like to say that you will catch all 4 seasons in one day, and you certainly will do that if you are exploring. So if you're up in the mountains, if you're in the forest, if you're doing the walks, the hikes, if you're doing sunrises and sunsets, then you need to be prepared for everything. So like I say, the best way to dress is layers, all right? If you're going outside of Funchal, I recommend long pants, closed shoes. Of course, if you are hiking, then you want hiking boots. that are preferably waterproof as well. Also, if you are hiking, you want to have your waterproofs, and you want to make sure that you have water, food, sunscreen, all this kind of stuff. There's another video on the channel about everything about hiking, and there, like I said, there's the ultimate guide. There's loads of information here, right? So this is kind of the best way to do it. Layers, you know, if you get too hot, you can take a layer off. If you get too cold, you can put another layer on, and that way you'll be fine. All right. Down in the south coast, in the Funchal, and the south and southwest coast is where you're going to find the best weather. All right. It's a little bit lower, right? The closer you get to the ocean, the warmer it's going to be. So if we're talking temperatures, right, during the day, you can expect temperatures of about 22 to 25 degrees Celsius to 26 degrees Celsius during the day. All right, and at night you can go from about 17 to 20, somewhere around there. I'm kind of thinking off the top of my head how it feels like. Up here it is a lot colder. On the north coast it's also a lot colder as well. If you want to swim, I recommend on the south coast, right? The swimming pools in Porto Muniz, for instance, the rock pools are beautiful and everything, but the water is a little bit colder on the north side, about 2 degrees Celsius. You can aim in the springtime for water temperatures of about 19 to 21 degrees Celsius on a good day, so to speak. Of course, you have to be careful as well, because this is the time of the year that we have stronger currents and bigger waves and things like that. So, you know, it's not a like one size fits all kind of solution, right? Also, if you are coming to Madeira for the first time, there is a free video that I have on my Patreon channel. So if you go to Patreon, Hit the Road Madeira, you're gonna get the first time in Madeira video. All right, all you need to do is sign up for the account. It's free, and you get the video. And there I break down where to stay, my favorite restaurants, my favorite hotels, where you can stay, how to do all of that, how to explore the island if you want to do it yourself. So it's all broken down there. So that's it really in a nutshell. You know, I think people worry a little bit too much about the weather in Madeira. Also, there's the microclimates, right? So you've got microclimates. Again, this is in that video, but you're gonna have different weathers in different areas, like we said, like we see today. Now we're in this place, it's cloudy, and you think like, oh wow, this is not a good day today, but just around the corner there's sun. And this is something that can happen very common. This is something that can happen very common. It's great English right there, perfect grammar. This is the lack of sleep. In Madeira, you know, it can be sunny and beautiful in Funchal, and in São Vicente it can be raining and miserable. So the best thing you can do is you can check the webcams, all right? You put in www.madeirawebcams. Actually, don't put www, just put Madeira webcams in Google. It's usually the first one that comes up. And then you can see images of around the island, and you can kind of have an idea of what the weather looks like. And then there's my favorite kind of weather app is windy.com. And that is, for me, until now, kind of the most accurate, even though it's not always 100% accurate, right? So you can't always tell exactly what the weather is. Sometimes it says it's gonna rain and it doesn't rain. Sometimes it says it's gonna rain in Funchal and it's raining somewhere in Funchal, right? So yeah, it's the weather in Madeira, it's this thing, nobody kind of knows what it is. I've written a blog post about it, it's in the description below. There's plenty of videos out there for you guys to watch as well. Otherwise, just ask us and don't stress about it, you know. Madeira is, in my opinion, more beautiful in the off season, more beautiful when it's rainy, windy and cloudy, because you get nicer pictures, believe it or not. And also it's a little bit more mystic and a little bit more adventurous, especially if you're in one of these. Yeah, thanks for sticking around. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Let's hit the road.
Let's hit the road. Almost. We're not finished yet.
Okay.
But we're gonna move on, yeah? All right, breakfast time. So I didn't actually know that this place opened so early. So nice little find. Ubergekau, one of our favorite places. This is where we filmed our Star Wars film. So when we're not tour guides, we're movie stars.
An old Jedi in these parts.
Quick, help me to push this window away. What? Come on, just do it. Let's go.
We're trying the Burgerkau toaster. It's a cheese, bacon and egg toast, which sounds amazing. So if you want to do this kind of experience with a guide, then you got to check out www.hittheroadmadeira.com. This is our Jeep tour business, and you want to get a private half-day tour. A private half-day tour is going to be enough to see the sunrise, to do that little section of the hike, to come and have something afterwards, and then back down to Funchal to your accommodation. So we only do that kind of thing as a private tour because our sunrise tour, which is the group tour, is a little bit more affordable. And all we do is we go up there, we see the sunrise at Pico do Arieiro, we explore the area, so it's kind of a tour more for everyone, so you don't have to do the hike, right? Also beautiful, also a great way to see the peak. And that's also on our website, so you can find that at hittheroadmadeira.com. Once the peak to peak full hike opens, then you can book that through our hiking brand, which is thebigwalkmadeira.com. We wanted to separate that from Hit the Road because it's a hiking business, and Hit the Road is the Jeep tour business. So the Jeep tours are for everybody. The hiking is for hikers. Right, so you can check that out at thebigwalkmadeira.com. At the moment, we're not selling it until they open it up. Then we will put that for sale. And there's of course other different hikes on there as well that you can explore. There's also our Patreon account, as I mentioned earlier. And if you go into our Patreon account, we've got certain products and services. So you will get guides on how to explore the island the first time in Madeira, for instance, free of charge, that video on our Patreon account. And then also later, the ultimate hiking guide is going to be there. And of course there you can chat with me as well. And I can help you all sorts of things about coming to Madeira. It should be self-explanatory. So go ahead and check out all of that stuff. You won't regret it. Trust me. I know people that have come with us and say, oh, I wish I'd known about this earlier. Well, now you know, right? So it's right there. And yeah, time to dig in. Should do a taste test. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's epic. Amazing.
1 out of 10.
10 out of 10. And I think now it's time.
It's done. Now I can say it.
Now you can say it.
Let's hit the road.
Let's hit the road. Let's hit the road home, right? With my marshmallow chocolates, hot chocolate.
The marshmallows and the toast.
Yeah, so cheers.